Hi everybody, welcome back to the Hoochie Poochie project. For those of you who missed the first video, I'm Lauren and I own a dog walking company in New York City. This channel features stories of what it's like to both own a dog walking company and be a dog walker in New York City. I will be sharing my stories and I will also be featuring special guests, including members of my team, both past and present, to share their stories. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our channel, share us on your social media pages, tell your friends about us, and if you'd like to support us further, please consider making a donation. The coronavirus crisis has negatively impacted so many small businesses, including mine, and any money that we raise will be used to help keep us afloat during this time by making sure that my staff is paid and that basic business expenses are covered. But anything beyond that, I plan to donate to other small businesses in need. So thank you so much for watching. And now on to the show. The first story that I wanted to share is about a very special dog named Charlie. And this happened about 9 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago now. It was back in the very beginning stages of when I was starting the business. And Charlie was a Chihuahua, or is a Chihuahua. I don't know if he's still with us. He was about 5 years old at the time. Anyway, he was maybe all of 5 or 6 pounds and just had a huge personality. And I just loved this dog so much. He was a very timid dog. He took a long time to warm up to people, but once he did, he was the best. So I walked him every day. And on this particular day, I picked him up. He lived around 64th and Broadway. We were heading uptown. And right around 66th and Broadway, now if you know this area at all, it's a giant cluster right there of all the avenues intersecting, and it's just a mess of traffic. So I don't even know how this happened, but something spooked him. I don't know if it was a noise or a skateboard going by or whatever it was, but he somehow backed out of his collar, which was not too loose on him, but he somehow Houdini'd his way just free from his collar. And he stood there. We stared at each other for about half a second and he took off right into traffic. And I can't even tell you what I went through in those moments. It was as if I left my body and I was watching it happen, but I was also living it. And adrenaline and instinct just took over and I dropped everything. I dropped my phone, my backpack, and I took off after him. And I lost sight of him pretty quickly, but I did see that he had turned to try to go back to his house. So he made it, not even on the sidewalk. He was running in traffic on the street. He ran down Broadway, banged a right or a left onto 64th and headed towards the park. And then I lost sight of him. And strangers, lots of people were watching this happen and saw me frantically running, screaming, "Charlie! Charlie!" And I'm crying and I'm sweating. And perfect strangers are saying, "He went that way, he went that way." So I'm running. He made it to the park. He defied so many odds just in traffic. Little dog. He made it into Central Park, allegedly, but I did not see him. I get into the park and I'm screaming, and I believe I was still holding his leash, but now I don't remember. I had fallen, apparently. I was bleeding. I don't remember falling, but I was bleeding. My knees were all cut up. My arm had basically road rash on it. Anyway, this angel of a woman came up to me and said, "Are you looking for a small dog? I saw a small dog just running this way, north." So she stayed with me the whole time. And I'm screaming, "Charlie, Charlie!" We're running. We're just looking everywhere in this huge park. Like we're gonna find this little tiny dog who's just gone. And by some miracle, we see this small crowd of people around a hot dog cart, and they say, "He's here." Charlie had hidden under a hot dog cart. And so I went over there, and literally people helped me by making a barricade around the hot dog cart. And the hot dog vendor even was giving me hot dogs and ripping off little pieces, and I was making a little trail, and he would take one and he would cower back under because this poor dog was terrified. I mean, I think he was just trying to go home. And then when he got to the park, he was just looking for a place to hide. And his adventure was over at that point, and he was petrified. So I eventually was able to just kind of scoop him out. Now, if you know a lot about dogs, you know that you can't just reach into their personal space when they're scared because they're going to bite you. But I eventually, because I didn't want him to take off again, I just got my hands under him and just scooped him up and got him into my arms. And at that point, the adrenaline, the stress of the situation, the entire incident was probably about 20 minutes long. And it felt like forever, and it also felt like it was so short at the same time. In that moment, when I held him, I just kind of, I fell to my knees, and I just kind of collapsed and just cried. And at that point, I realized I was bleeding. And I walked back towards where it happened because my stuff was all there. And I didn't expect that my things would still be there. I didn't really care. I just cared that the dog was alive and was safe. But I carried him back, and it had actually happened right outside of a restaurant, and there were patrons outside the restaurant eating. And when I came back around the corner, this was such a New York City moment. They all stood up, I kid you not, and were clapping when they saw me with this dog. And I'm a mess. I'm just a complete mess, emotionally, physically. And I'm holding this dog, and I'm shaking, and I'm sweating, and I'm saying, thank you. And just a surreal, crazy moment. And somebody had taken my bag, had taken my things, and everything was safe. It was a complete miracle that happened, and we got him back safely. And it was a very big lesson. And now every single dog that we walk wears a harness, and wears a properly fitted harness, because I don't want anybody to have to experience what I experienced. And it had a happy ending, and that's the best way it could end. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you tune into our next episode, which will feature one of our awesome team members and one of our very special furry clients. Thanks so much for your support. Have a good one. Stay safe.